Good evening. Welcome. I call this pre-meeting briefing of the Carrollton-Farmers Branch ISD Board of Trustees to order at 6:01 p.m. on October 3rd, 2019. The purpose of this pre-meeting briefing is to conduct a briefing session with administrative staff regarding the posted agenda for the regular board meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. on October 3rd. For the record, the board members present are Tara Herbacek, John Matthews, Sally Derrick, Randy Shackman, Guillermo Ramos, and Candace Valenzuela should be here in about 2 minutes. Our next item is special recognitions. Dr. Chapman? Do you want to do that, or would you like to move, as you said, the other item up
just
first?
until we get one more. So let's, if you don't mind, we would like for Dr. Coleman to give us a brief, less than 5-minute update on the class size waiver, which is for him.
Okay.
We just need a couple minutes.
Dr. Coleman?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You have on your agenda a resolution to approve class size waivers on behalf of the district. And you also have, as part of your attachments, a class size waiver report. That report, it outlines all of the campuses and the grade levels for which we're requesting waivers, grades kindergarten through 4th. This year, we're requesting 27 waivers, and as you will notice in your report, there are 2 classes that are bracketed in red. We bracketed those in red just so that you'll know we have already allocated staff for those classes, but we're still in the process of hiring teachers and then splitting the classes. So we went ahead and included those sections on the report, and if those sections were not included, that amounts to 5 sections, so we would only have about 22 waivers if those sections weren't included. One of the things, or several things I'd just like to highlight about our process. Number one, we are constantly looking at these classes that are over 23, looking at fluctuations to see if they get too far above the 22 mark. We look at all the courses that are 23 students and above on a daily basis. And we also communicate with principals routinely, regularly about these classes, and we make sure that they have additional support that's needed. We have a number of classes that are on this, listed on this sheet, that have additional aides assigned to them, some that have additional long-term substitutes assigned to them. And we're very responsive to the principals who express needs for extra support in these classes that are over 23 students. Over 22 students. You'll notice that I included this on the report, that the number of classes with only 1 student over is 13. So that's the largest portion of them. The number of classes with 2 students over, or 24 students, is 9. And then we have 5 classes with 4 students. 4 classes with 3 students over that have 25 students in them. And then we only have 1 class that has 26 students in it. And that class has already been allocated another teacher. They're just waiting to fill the positions. We are of the belief that there's no real research that proves that a great teacher who has 23 students in her class is any less effective of a great teacher if she has 23 students in her class or 24 students. So, and so what we have done is try to apply what we believe is best practices, and we support the best teachers who are in front of our students. And that's the approach that we're taking to these waivers. The number of students that are actually over the class size limit totals about, and I'm not too good at math, but I counted 35 students. So out of all of these 27 waivers, there are really just maybe 35 students who are actually in classes that exceed 22 students right now. But we're doing the best that we can to make sure each one of those 35 students receives the best education that we can provide. Those are about all the comments that I have. I would ask that the board respectfully approve the resolution for us to request waivers of these class sizes.
And
of
that
course-
is on our 7 PM agenda.
Yeah, it's
So-
under consent.
Board
4
members,
M.
are there any questions for Dr. Coleman?
Dr. Coleman, can you explain the B and M?
Bilingual, monolingual.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes. I'll defer to Dr. Chapman.
I'm sorry. I just apologize.
Okay. Questions?
So, Dr. Chapman, I'll probably at this point ask about if anybody has any questions about consent agenda items.
Yes, please.
Board members? Ms. Rabachek?
I do. I have question on item 4, G, about the construction delivery method on the, on the athletic. So it's talking about the RFP, and that's what we're approving tonight, the method. My question, is the RFP going to be a package with all of those items as one thing, or is it an RFP for softball, baseball competition? Are they split? Are we taking advantage of value pricing, I guess you could say?
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
taking advantage of
Yeah.
value pricing and keeping consistency. So we would be back packaging those to one preferred partner and then working with them on all those items.
Okay, so if, and it's my understanding, I mean, we're only approving the delivery method and the RFP. This is
That's
going
it.
to come back to the board,
2 more times.
okay, with the price.
Yes.
And basically the entire project, so to
Yes.
speak, approve the project at that time?
First, we'll bring you a preferred partner who we'll work with,
Okay.
and you guys will help us make that selection.
Okay.
Approve that group that we'll work with, and then we'll bring back guaranteed maximum price as we move through the design process.
Okay, and that will include any changes that there could be in funding or anything like that,
Yep.
right? Okay, and, if we're doing it as one, are they able to be split at that time, or would that gonna depend on negotiations?
Partly the negotiation, and that's why we would prefer to use this method, because it would allow us to make the best phasing, given the market conditions, given the field conditions. All those factors will come back and then present our plan as part of that funding, say, please fund this portion, we would like to now fund these portions, this is how it all fits together.
Okay, that's it.
I have a couple of questions. I'm going to pull this item at the 7 o'clock meeting and in respect of time of our visitors here, but I'll kind of go through the questions I have in the time we have before 7. I'm concerned with some of the delivery method questions also. I have preferences in my professional life, and I'm just curious how you got to your decision, so, but I'll give you a heads up before 7. Okay, Malcolm?
Okay.
Okay. So board members, any other questions on consent agenda items? So hearing none, Dr. Chapman, I think we're ready to do our special recognition.
Yes, Dr. Warnock, she'll start off with our German exchange program.
All right, thank you, Dr. Chapman. We are having the arrival of some of our German students, are having such a great time here in Texas that they are trickling in. We have a couple of our students here, and so we, Mr. Hardy? So we are going to begin tonight by hearing a few words. We are so honored to have with us tonight the president of the Sister City Committee in Garbson, and he also serves as the vice mayor of the city of Garbson, and that is Dieter Rogenkamp. So, Mr. Rogenkamp, would you mind coming and sharing a few words? We're so thrilled. Mr. Rogenkamp was here 30 years ago when the Berlin Wall fell and we had our first group of students that were here on exchange. So welcome. We're so thrilled that you're here.
Ja, einen schönen guten Abend. Good evening, everybody. Yes, I'm very proud to be again in this hall. As it was on the 9th of November in 1989, yeah? The wall came down and we had a reception here for the same as tonight with the first group from our school who was here, and now we have the 30th anniversary, and so we have some people besides me. Daniela Grunwald-Galler, I just would say. She is a council member and chairwoman on the school board and chairwoman of the parent council in Garbsen, so with her husband and 2 children. And Frank Donat, the teacher who is here with the student group, is not here, yes? No? Kommt noch. Yeah, okay.
They're coming now. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but
All right.
he is a vice principal and is so, and Monika Hasenberg, teacher as well, comes too. And then from the Sister City Committee, Gudrun Roggenkamp sits there, and she is council member and speaker of the Sport and Cultural Committee. And last not least, I was introduced as vice mayor and president of the Sister City Committee. It's 30 years ago. It was like once upon a time in October 1988, the city of Farmers Branch and the Chamber of Commerce visited their sister city, Bassetlaw, in England. On the way home, they made a detour to the German sister city of Bassetlaw named Garbsen. Suddenly, we got a demand. 28 people want to stay 3 days in Garbsen to see what their German sister city looks like. Yeah. And we hosted them, and the organization was very good. So at the end, Major Dave Blair said, I think we matched together for Garbsen as sister city. So, but the superintendent, Buddy Davis, from your side, was with this group, and he was interested in student exchange. And now the city and the Carrollton-Farmers Branch Independent School District, who is the first, yes? The Carrollton-Farmers Branch School District was the first, and so we had in 1989, the first student exchange with you, with Turner and Newman Smith, and in 1990, the city of Farmers Branch was, and we became sister cities. So first the student exchange, and 30 years, that's the reason to be here, and I'm very glad that it lasts so long and helps to have good education over the countries, and even so, yeah, and we thank you and all the host parents and the teachers here, and I hope it will last longer. We are we will do our best, and I hope your support as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate that. I had the pleasure of hosting a German exchange student 2 years ago at our home as part of the experience. So our son really enjoyed that experience. He still keeps in touch with Luca today. They continue that exchange. It was a great way to learn more about Germany and for our German students to learn more about our country, and just a really beautiful experience. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, sure. Perfect. Welcome, welcome to our sponsors. Come on in. We're glad you're here. All right. We have City Councilman Bronson Blackson, who's here from the City of Farmers Branch, and he has served as the designee point of contact with the Sister City Exchange. We also have Councilman Terry Lind, who is in the audience from the City of Farmers Branch. So we appreciate this support from the City of Farmers Branch, and we'll turn it over to you, Councilman Blackson.
Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Bronson Blackson. I'm the City Councilman for the City of Farmers Branch for District 2. I also serve as the Council Liaison for the Sister City Committee, as well as the IGS of Garbson. The relationship between the City of Farmers Branch, the Carrollton-Farmers Branch Independent School District, and Garbson, Germany is a very storied and rich 29-year tradition. We are honored to celebrate that students, teachers, mentors, families that have made the journey this year to take part in our exchange. Such opportunities allow us to embrace each other's culture, learn from our peers, and experience each other's communities in a way that will have a long-lasting effect on how we not only grow as individuals, but how we grow as worldly citizens. It's with extreme pride that we are able to grant these students honorary Farmers Branch citizenship and let them know that they are welcome back to our community anytime. We wish you all an amazing experience while you are here with us, and we look forward to the future opportunities to participate in the student exchange as well as the Sister City program. And Mayor Dye we have a proclamation I want to read that I've got. Whereas the Farmers Branch has enjoyed a thriving sister city relationship with the City of Farmers Branch, Garbson, Germany for almost 30 years, and whereas even though a world apart, we are closely joined by friendship, cooperation, common characteristics of civic pride, family tradition, and a sense of community, and whereas the city and dignitaries of Farmers Branch congratulate the International School of Garbson and the Carrollton-Farmers Branch Independent School District on this 30th anniversary of the student exchange. And whereas each of our communities is better for each time we have the opportunity to visit with each other, sharing fellowship, culture, customs, and ideas. And whereas the citizens of Farmers Branch offer their heartfelt greeting, hospitality to the IGS of Garbson upon the occasion of their visit to our city. Now, therefore, I, Bronson Blackson, on behalf of our mayor, Robert C. Dye, by virtue of the authority vested in him as mayor of the City of Farmers Branch and the state of Texas, on behalf of our city council, do hereby offer our warmest welcome and deepest thanks to our sister city neighbors for decades of our productive and mutually beneficial relationship. Additionally, we offer our best wishes and safe travels home until our paths cross again. Thank you.
The agreement to forge civic bonds between the City of Farmers Branch, R.L. Turner High School, and Garbson, Germany began in 1989. Tonight, we celebrate the 30th anniversary of this partnership. 1989 coincided with one of the most historic events in German history, the fall of the Berlin Wall on November 9th. This moment symbolized a reconnection of cultures and the promise of future without walls. R.L. Turner has been our home to Garbson, Germany student exchange for 30 years, the longest continuous student exchange in the district. Now, 30 years later, it seems appropriate to celebrate this historic bond and to recall this hopeful and optimistic occasion while welcoming a new group of German students to discover our community and the possibility of forging lifelong friendships. We thank Farmers Branch for their continued adult exchange, and we are thankful for the student exchange that provides enriching experiences. We hope our German friends feel the big heart of Texas in our school and our community, and have some great Mexican food. We especially want to thank our CFB host families for opening their homes to include a new member of their family during this 15-day stay. While these exchange students have experienced daily life at school, they have spent extended time being a part of a typical American family. They will return with the gift of an authentic American experience: football games, cowboys, the works. If you're a host family member, please stand so we can thank you for providing such a wonderful opportunity. I would like to invite our teachers from Germany who are here to the podium to introduce us to the students who are here, while our superintendent and board president and our city councilman recognize each of you, and we take a picture up here at the front. So if our teachers can come and provide introductions, and the students will come up here to the front. Just right over here. Come on. Yeah, and if you'll just welcome the students, introduce the students, and have them come up to the front, if you'll just say their names. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Thank you for the invitation. So usually we don't know the procedure, so I will call the students with names. I'm sorry, not all the students are here yet because we were told it will start at 7 p.m. So they will come maybe in a few minutes, so I'm sorry. Okay, we first start with Antonia Blum, so please go in front. The second student is Chris Abgen. Cassandra Reich-Henke. And Sarah Groß.
All right. Yeah, and our teachers, please come join in. All right. All right. So we have arranged a American pizza party, complete with cookies and all kinds of good stuff, over at our Educational Services building across the way. And there we have tokens of Texas love, some CFB swag, and certificates for each of you from the City of Farmers Branch as a recognition and appreciation of you participating in this very special 30th year exchange. So we're so thankful that you're here tonight, and we look forward to seeing the whole group here in just a minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Warnock. Thank you, Dr. Chapman. Thank you, council member, and yes. I had the pleasure of hosting a German exchange student about 7 years ago for 6 months, and it was a fantastic experience. So, and I think Ms. Derrick
I hosted a student last year.
Through this program?
Through this program, and her favorite experience was Target. She loved Target. We went multiple times. And then the band competition. I guess the marching bands is not something that you have in Germany. She was fascinated by the marching band competition we went to.
And the board meeting, how was that in the rankings? Ms.
It
Derrick.
didn't quite make the list.
It
I'm
didn't
not
make-
really sure.
Oh.
But the band competition is on Saturday, so host families, if you don't have anything going on, the students really enjoy that because it is something to behold for
It's
sure.
at our stadium.
It's at our stadium, yeah.
All day and all night.
And the Dallas Cowboys play the Green Bay Packers at 3:25 Sunday afternoon. You want to see that?
So
We will post the times of the band competition on the Facebook group, so we'll ask Ms. Hall if she can do that, so that if that's something the families want to participate in, that you'd be able to do that. Okay, thank you so much.
Can I please hand out some for the city, the Addison here, the city of Farmers Branch. This is drawing here.
Wait, Bronson. Oh, one more.
And for the Sister City Committee member, Katie Starbuck was here. But Nancy Hunt.
Aw.
Thank you. Well, board members, that brings us to item number 5, adjournment. We've reached the end of our agenda for this pre-meeting briefing, and we are adjourned at 6:28 p.m. And thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Good evening. I call this regular meeting of the Carrollton-Farmers Branch ISD Board of Trustees to order at 7:01 p.m. on October 3rd, 2019. Board members, district staff members, and members of the audience, you are free to join me in standing as Carolyn Benavides provides a message, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Tara Herbacek and the Pledge to the Texas flag led by John Matthews.
Thank you. If we could please close our eyes and bow our heads. Thank you, Father, for the grand opportunity to represent you tonight. Thank you for the generosity and kindness the superintendent has brought to our city. Thank you for our civil servants, our veterans, past and present, our senior citizens and volunteers that make our city an example and a showcase for our country. We lift up the community in need and pray that we continue to lend a hand up in their lives. I pray for all teachers, staff, all the employees that make the district successful, Lord. Teach us, Lord, to lay at the feet of all the children. Help us to see their need and know their want, and encourage us to bring out the greatness within them. Allow us to serve them like the kings and queens you created them to be. Thank you, Father, for our trustees. I pray the wisdom of Solomon and the patience of Job as they go forth in our community and be involved and be good stewards of all the opportunity you've given them. Give them strength, courage, and boldness to fulfill their position. I draw a hedge of protection, Lord, around every building, every person, and every child every day. And I ask you to continue to bless our community and protect us as a whole, and let us be a beacon of light to the world. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
As a district, we dedicate all our efforts and resources to our goal of high achievement for each student. The board uses this goal to guide all deliberations, decisions, and actions. You will get to see all deliberations, decisions, and actions of the board in open session, with the exception of some items which may be discussed in a closed session as stipulated in the Texas Government Code, Section 551, commonly known as the Open Meetings Law. These items typically deal with personnel matters, consultation with our attorney, and real estate. For the record, the board members present are Tara Herbacek, John Matthews, Sally Derrick, Randy Shackman, Guillermo Ramos, Candace Valenzuela, and Nancy Klein. We constitute a quorum and may conduct business on behalf of the district. Ladies and gentlemen, before moving on to the next agenda item, I would like to remind you that the board encourages comments from citizens of the district and from district employees. Anyone wishing to speak, either as an individual or as a representative of a group, may do so during agenda item number 3, audience for guests. Please submit your request to do so on one of the forms provided on the table just outside the north entrance to the boardroom. You may place the completed form in the box provided on the same table or present your completed form to Administrative Assistant Ms. Kim Castanon. She's over here on my left. When the board addresses agenda item number 3, audience for guests, you will be invited to the podium to speak to the board. So now we get to the fun part. And this is our special presentation of Teachers of the 9 Weeks. Dr. Chapman?
Yes, what an exciting time to recognize our exemplary teachers. So each campus, through each 9 weeks, nominates a teacher to serve as a teacher of the 9 weeks. And at the end of the year, each campus will designate a teacher of the year. And in May, we'll have a recognition honoring one secondary teacher of the year and one elementary teacher of the year. So this is our very first 9 weeks. It's 2 months combined into one. So this is September and October. And so we just want to congratulate each and every one of you teachers for being here, and thank you for all that you do.
Good evening, President Klein, trustees, and Dr. Chapman. What an exciting night in CFB. As Dr. Chapman said, tonight we introduce our first teachers of the 9 weeks, the honorees for the 2019-20 school year. Congratulations again to each of you for your hard work and dedication to the teaching profession. We have 23 campuses tonight represented, and as I call your name, teachers and principals, if you will please come forward and pause for a brief picture. Our first campus is Blair Elementary School. The principal is Dr. Jose Ramos. The teacher is Sirwan Cha Kim, who's an art teacher. This is her first year in teaching. And this is what is said about her. She has an exceptional ability to engage her students in appreciating literacy through the lens of art, and it's nothing short of remarkable. Her seamless skills bring color and joy to the students of Blair Elementary School. Congratulations. Next, we have Blanton Elementary School. And the principal is Tricia Bedugo, and the teacher is Liz DeVito, who teaches art. And this is her 7th year with CFB, 11th year in education. And this is what makes her special. It's through her quiet and persistent and encouragement, Ms. DeVito provides an outlet for students to find their voice and express their connection to the world outside of numbers and words. She enables learners of all ability and levels to achieve success, exhibit joy, and accomplish what they need. Congratulations. Carrollton Elementary School. Principal Monica Cohen. The teacher is Marilyn Hall. She's a 2nd grade teacher. She has 7 years in CFB and 5 years in teaching. And this is said about her. We can always hear one voice waving in the hall, and that's Miss Marilyn, greeting every student or teacher as they pass by with a good morning greeting. She always shows love and compassion. Thank you for all you do. Congratulations. Central Elementary School. And the principal is Ms. Soto Demas, and the recipient, the teacher, is Elisa Arizmendi, and she's a 1st grade bilingual self-contained teacher. She has 15 years in the district and 18 years in education, and this was said about her. She's an exemplar colleague. She always is smiling. She's one you can find continuously working late and always doing the right thing for her students. Congratulations. Country Place Elementary is our next campus. And the principal is Kim Jackson, and the teacher is Mackenzie Reese. She's a kindergarten teacher with 4 years in CFB and 4 years in teaching. And this was said about Miss Reese. She's the epitome of a phenomenal kinder teacher. She develops a strong, positive rapport with students and their families to the point where kids do not want to leave kindergarten and go to first grade. Congratulations. Davis Elementary School. The principal is Miss Williams. The teacher is Jenna Jones. She's a 5th grade math and science teacher. This was said about her. She's a stellar, dedicated, driven, and determined 5th grade math and science teacher leader of 5 years who provides every single student the love, confidence, and leadership skills to be successful in life. She leads students and staff with courage and integrity, just like her mom and her Davis mom, Ms. Schultz, taught her. Great mentors really matter if one is to reach the exceptional mark like Jenna Jones meets every single day. Congratulations. Farmers Branch Elementary School. The principal is Miss Brown, and the teacher is Dala Vieira. She's a 4th grade Spanish language arts teacher, 6 years in education and 6 years at the campus and in the district. She's a CFB grad. She always has a smile on her face, a fierce passion for teaching, and is a great leader. Whether it's meeting our students' school needs or social and emotional needs, she's always had an unwavering devotion for our Mustangs. Congratulations. Freeman Elementary School. Miss Campbell is the principal. The teacher is Miss Ashley Martin. She's a 4th grade language arts teacher. She has 12 years in teaching, and she has 4 years in CFB. And Ashley goes out of her way to help others, both her peers and her students. She goes the extra miles, and she always demonstrates what a team player is. She works hard to lead her team, her ATP, and her students. Besides the classroom instruction, she has taken on several additional responsibilities to build the team at our campus. Congratulations. Furno Elementary. The principal is Miss Parker. The teacher is Savannah Stevens, and she's a kindergarten teacher with 2 years in CFB and 2 years in teaching. Savannah is an amazing teacher and grade level chair. She loves her students and works tirelessly to make sure that students receive the best instruction and exactly what they need to be successful. Congratulations. Good Elementary School. Principal Ahmad. The teacher is Delicia Langford, and she's a kindergarten teacher. She has 11 years in CFB and 13 years in teaching, and this was said about her. She is the perfect combination, perfect combination of patience, compassion, flexibility, and high expectations for her students. We are so proud to honor her, and let me read this again real quick. So everyone thinks that Ms. Langford is a great choice, and one of her students says he thinks she's the best teacher because he has ever had, because if he could, he would give her half of his lunch every day. Congratulations. Kent Elementary School. Miss Williams is the principal. The teacher is Nicole Pryor. She's a pre-K teacher with 8 years in CFB and 17 years in teaching. Miss Pryor's classroom is the gold standard for early childhood instruction. Nicole's colleagues describe her as creative, passionate, loving, innovative, driven, feisty, dedicated, and she sets high expectations for all and is a true cardinal. Congratulations. Landry Elementary School. Principal Lopez. The teacher is Misty Thompson, and she's a physical education teacher with 31 years in the district and 31 years in teaching. And she keeps a positive attitude toward everyone, students, staff, and parents, and leading by example is her strength. She sees every student in the school and is the epitome of be the exception in each child's life. Congratulations. Next, we have Las Colinas Elementary. Miss Jones is the principal, and the classroom teacher is Ashley Olivas. She's a kindergarten teacher with 5 years in CFB and 5 years in teaching, and this was said about her. She has a warm, fun, generous personality that transfers to her classroom. She's willing to change grades in the best interest of a very challenging student, and then again because she felt it would be help him with a teammate. I admire how selflessly she offers to do what she feels is best for our students and school. Congratulations. La Vieta Elementary, Principal Ms. Mayfield, and the teacher is Sarah Reyes. She's a second grade self-contained teacher with 2 years in the district and 4 in teaching, and this was said about her. She is a team leader for second grade who is always smiling, has a very positive attitude, and is always willing to lend an extra hand. When you see her with her students, she demonstrates respect, kindness, and shows that she has the best interest of her students in mind. Congratulations. McCoy Elementary School, Ms. Rink is the principal. The teacher is Kathy Everett. Ms. Everett is a first grade teacher. She has 20 years in CFB and 25 years in teaching. And this was said about her. She models excellence and simply refuses to stop short of meeting her own high expectation. For Kathy, failure is never an option, and all challenges are met with confidence, flexibility, and eagerness. Congratulations. Next, we have McLaughlin Strickland, and the principal is Ms. Lacey. The teacher is Tammy Nancy Hesser. She's a kinder teacher too. She has 3 years in CFB and 3 years in the district. This was said about her. She exhibits resilience, compassion, empathy, high expectations, and enthusiasm. She's truly dedicated to her students. She is always encouraging and has a smile on her face even when it's been a tough day. Congratulations. McWhorter Elementary School. Principal is Ms. Reed. The teacher is Astrid Linke. She's a second grade bilingual teacher with 4 years in CFB and 4 years in education. This was said about her. She's the consummate professional and works tirelessly to ensure all students are successful. She is well respected by her colleagues, parents, and works at bringing out the best in everyone. Congratulations. Rainwater Elementary School. And the principal is Dr. Thomas. The teacher is Caitlin Ford. She's a kindergarten teacher. She has 2.5 years in teaching and 1.5 years in the district. She is a kind, understanding, and caring towards her students and other teammates. She is willing to jump in and share the load, and her positivity is simply contagious. Congratulations. River Chase Elementary School, Ms. Henderson is the principal. The teacher is Jeff Hine. He's a second grade language arts social studies teacher with 15 years in CFB and 19 years in teaching. And this was said, Jeff goes above and beyond for students. He is always willing to lend a helping hand and can put a smile on anyone's face, teacher or student. Congratulations. Rosemead Elementary School. The principal is Ms. Gutierrez. The teacher is Kristen Packard, 4th grade reading and science with 19 years in CFB and 19 years in education. And this was said, she is a team player who is loved by her students and is always willing to step up to help others around the school. She is a product of CFB, and R.L. Turner graduated, and all 3 of her children attend CFB schools. Congratulations. Next, we have Stark Elementary. Ms. Putman is the principal. The teacher is Irving Alcantara, who is a music teacher. with 3 years in the district and 6 years in teaching. And this was said about him: he's always helpful to students and staff and goes the extra mile for anyone with a smile on his face. He's willing to help others and always has a positive attitude. As stated by a second grader, Mr. A is nice, he's funny, and he's the best music teacher in the whole world. Congratulations. Thompson Elementary School, Principal Atchison, try that again, and the teachers Aaron Harvey, 4th grade ELA, 7 years in the district and 7 years in teaching. Mrs. Harvey is dedicated to building deep relationships with her students while helping them to develop a love for reading. She is a leader of her colleagues, and she does her best to make sure the campus excels. Congratulations. Ranch View High School. No. Our principal is Sherry Scrutch. The teacher is Jenny Sharrow, and she's a chemistry teacher. She has 17 years, all of which are at the school, with 20 years teaching overall. And this was said about her: she is a dynamic teacher and leader on our campus who is always looking for ways to improve, do what's best for students and our school. She has 4 preps this year and is a department leader. She's a personal project coordinator and is also working on her master's degree. She takes a subject that is complex and difficult and makes it look simple. Congratulations. And that concludes our recognition. Once again, thank you to all that were here, and we're so proud of you.
If you see the artwork in front of you, this is from Country Place Elementary. And so each month, we're going to demonstrate some artwork, and so we just want to celebrate Country Place Elementary today. And at this time, we'll have Jeff Moore with the Education Foundation.
This last presentation is going to be pretty tough to follow. All the enthusiasm in the room to hear. Now you get to hear an Educational Foundation report. But it's pretty exciting. So my name is Jeff Moore. I'm the Executive Director of the Carrollton-Farmers Branch ISD Educational Foundation. And tonight, I didn't know I was going to need 700 color copies, so I brought 50. So if you'd like one, it looks like this. The board has a copy, but it's a little infographic, just a little bit about what we're doing right now and what is up and coming with our organization. So if you don't know, the Educational Foundation's mission is to enrich the educational opportunities within the schools of CFBISD. And we do that by offering scholarships and grants, as well as other programs and services back to the district. And I was going to tell you a little bit about what's up and coming. The first thing, and some of you are probably going to be nominees after hearing your stories, but on November 21st, we have our 2019 Unsung Heroes Breakfast. And our Unsung Heroes Breakfast is each campus selects an educator from their campus as their representative, an individual that maybe goes above and beyond their job description, like all of you probably did, the ones that got nominated tonight did. And they get to accompany their principal to our breakfast. We have a keynote speaker, and then the business community also joins us. They sponsor tables and things like that. So if you know anyone that might be interested, that's a plug for that. Let me know. But it's just a great celebration that morning to recognize these teachers and educators that go above and beyond. So be on the lookout for that. That's November 21st. We hope you guys get nominated, and we look forward to seeing the principals and the administrators there that day. Working backwards a little bit, beginning on October 14th, and it'll go through October 25th, the Educational Foundation, one of our primary fundraisers each year is our employee giving campaign. So be on the lookout for information on that. We started passing packets out today. Each campus has a campus coordinator. They will be our liaison between the foundation and each campus, and they're going to be soliciting dollars. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about where those dollars are going to go this year in just a second. So be on the lookout for that. It's a 2-week campaign. We try to knock it out pretty quick. And our goal this year is $101,000. And we've the most that we've raised, and I've been here 6 years, the most we've raised in my tenure is $95,000. So it's a little bit of an increase. So we're shooting for that, but most of that money comes back to the campuses. So on my infographic, I don't know if somebody can y'all wave that and just kind of see what it looks like? Just kind of see. There's 4 categories. Thank you guys. Lots of Vannas tonight. So in each, there's four primary categories on this graphic. I'm going to just kind of list them. They're teacher support, Impact Now, which is a program we offer, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second, campus improvement, and then student programs. I'm going to begin, which would be on the top left if you had a copy of the graphic, but we are awarding up to $30,000 in teacher grants this year. This month, by the end of October, we'll be awarding 4,525 teacher grants to CFB teachers, and then in November, we have an additional $8,000 that we'll be awarding. On top of that, we have designated $5,000 for the Jenny Atchison New Teacher Grant Program, and those are for new teachers to the profession of teaching, as well as just new teachers who have never taught before in any district, and we award $100 to those individuals if they turn in the required reimbursements. And then additionally, after, we're going to be releasing another $2,500 after the winter break. We're calling them Welcome Back grants, and we're trying these out this year. We're going to award $2,500, and they're going to be $250 to $500 grants, and we're going to send an application out. It's going to be very simple, so we encourage everyone to apply and keep us all at the foundation busy over the holidays reading. And we're just going to ask you, what would you do to enhance your classroom or your program with this money? So be on the lookout for that. That's up and coming. Our Impact Now program, which would be on the right of the graphic, is a program that's probably my favorite. It's kind of my baby. It's something that I started with some of the other district staff. It's a program where we fund secondary educational costs for students in the district. So the process, just in case you don't know, is you go to cfbgiving.org and you click on our Impact Now button, and you can complete an application on behalf of a student. And those are to cover secondary educational costs. An example of that might be, let's say you have a student maybe that participates in band, and you've noticed they have like promise, and they also have financial need, and this is a way to supplement that. If they have instrument rental, or if they have private lessons they want to take, the Educational Foundation will help cover those costs for the students. So we know the need is much greater than the $15,000 we have allotted for that, but we're hoping to continue to grow that as time goes on. And so that's just kind of a quick example of Impact Now, and that money goes. It doesn't go to like calculators or iPads or anything like that. It goes directly to a student for a student. So those are always open, and they're perpetual. So we do these every month. So if you have a student you're thinking of, we look forward to receiving that application. And then campus improvements, we're awarding $46,000 this year, and that number is kind of deceiving because a lot of that money comes from a company called LBJ Express. $40,000 of it, in fact, that money goes to the maker spaces at each junior high school. They have been funding this for the past 4 or 5 years, and they're continuing to do so. So money goes to help cover people covering the classroom, as well as supplies and maintenance to the program. So that's coming up. And additionally, we have welcome back grants for campuses this year. So I explained that a little bit earlier. So we're doing those for campus improvements as well. And lastly, we have our kind of the foundation of the foundation. While we started back in 1996 is just student programs and supporting students. And mainly when you think of the foundation, you probably think of us awarding scholarships on senior walk dates and things like that. This year we have $78,000 to award this year, back to 70 of that is for students graduating in the form of scholarships. And then we have, it usually is around between $8,000 and $10,000 that we use for a program we call Destination Discovery, and that's for financial assistance for students that can't afford program fee. And so that's a little bit about what's shaking with us. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me and more J at CFBISD, just like y'all, so I'm on there. So y'all have a great day. Board and Dr. Chapman, thank y'all for having me out tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Have a couple important dates. So on October the 7th, the Board of Trustees and the City of Carrollton are going to have a joint meeting to where the mayor is going to give a State of the City address and Carrollton-Farmers Branch will give a State of the District address. So that's going to be one of the first we've had in a while, but the City Council and the Board will join, we'll have dinner, and then we'll have a joint meeting together. Another big event happening on October 10th is the first rollout of our CV Collaborative Vision 2030. So we have 65 members of the community that are going to start developing our vision or our strategic plan. We don't call them strategic plans anymore, but moving that forward. On September the 9th, the Board of Trustees developed values, so CFB values. They developed a new vision, mission, and motto for the district. Those will go into effect during the 2021 school year. So they did a great job September 9th rolling that process out. And so it's very exciting that October 10th will be the very first meeting. Those meetings will roll all the way through March, and then on April the 2nd, 2020, the Board of Trustees will hopefully approve the vision plan for the district for the next 10 years. Very exciting time for us, and with so many community members coming together to work as a team to say this is where we want to go in this district over the course of the next 10 years. You know, one of the processes that we look at whenever we are trying to find good, solid, ethical people to run our district, you look for someone that provides customer service, someone that is so rich in curriculum, someone that can build relationships, someone that can build a culture, someone that loves kids, someone that works day in and day out, and then so many times they don't even take care of their own family because they're taking care of their school family. And so it takes a special person to do that. And this month October is Principal Appreciation Month. And so if you're a principal in CFB, would you please stand? We absolutely could not do it without you guys. You are truly the exception, and together we definitely can do any and all things. So thank you so much for what you do. Before you leave tonight, we have a token of appreciation for each of you. So they'll be on the back counter. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I know from the Board of Trustees, we greatly, greatly appreciate the countless hours that you put in and the true love that you have for children. Thank you.
So our next is our update from the PTA. Ms. Watson.
Hi, President Klein, Dr. Chapman, and members of the board. My name is Meredith Watson, and I am the Council PTA President for CFB. I'd like to take a moment to highlight some of the fun events and initiatives our local PTAs have been working on. Thompson, Country Place, McCamey, and McCoy Elementaries have all held or will be holding events that encourage more men to get involved in their student education. And it's been so fun for me to see all the videos and photos on social media of seeing more men get involved in our kids' lives, so that was been exciting. Blair PTA is hosting a Hispanic Heritage Celebration and Family Game Night on this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Furneaux Elementary is participating in Walk to School Day tomorrow, so yay for healthy lifestyles. And Janie Stark is hosting an auction and carnival this Saturday from 11 to 2 p.m. And then our local PTAs are off to a great membership year. Council PTA would like to congratulate the following PTAs for officially receiving the Head Start Award from Texas PTA for sending in dues for at least 75% of their previous year's total membership before August 31st, which is a big accomplishment. So Rainwater, Blair, Country Place, Creekview, Early College, Blanton, McCoy, Rosemead, Sheffield, and Polk. And then we also would like to report that the following PTAs are reporting a membership increase over last year. So again, Rainwater, Blair, Blaylock, Country Place, Creekview, Early College, Thompson, Blanton, McCoy, River Chase, Rosemead, and Sheffield. That is 12 of our 36 PTAs that are reporting a membership increase. So thank you so much to all of our local leaders who've worked hard to communicate the value of PTA membership, and to those of you that have joined one or more of your local PTAs this year. So Council PTA has 2 new World Wear bins that are accepting textile donations. One bin is located in the corner of B. Salazar parking lot, and the second one is in the Marie Huey Special Education Center parking lot. So if you have textiles while you're cleaning out your clothes, you can donate them to those bins, and a portion of the proceeds goes towards Council PTA. And we fund things like reflections and senior scholarships with the money that we make from that. So thank you for your anticipated donations. And then our next Council PTA meeting is on October 16th at 6:30 in the ESDC Texas room. So hop on by if you'd like to join us. My PTA leaders in the room, you should be there. And lastly, in response to the recent outburst of vaping-related injuries, the CFB Parent Education Team and Council PTA are hosting a parent education event titled The Truth About Vaping. So this will take place on November 14th at 6:30 at Perry Middle School. And it will feature guest speaker Vianney Reinhardt with English presentations in the auditorium and Spanish presentations in the library. And we hope our parents will take advantage of this important information session. So thank you for your continued support of PTA.
Thank you, Ms. Watson. Were you going to say something? I'd like to thank Mr. Moore and the Education Foundation presentation, and Ms. Benavides that gave us our opening messages on the Education Foundation Board. I'd like to tell our principals we love you, and we rely on y'all. We couldn't do it without you, and your job is not for the faint of heart. Whenever someone becomes a new principal, I'm like, yeah, you know, it has glory, and it's kind of like being a parent on a large scale. So that is why I'm a civil engineer. So, but I really admire you, and particularly our high school principals. But not saying that the elementary is easy, but it's just the magnitude grows and grows, and your love has to be the foundation of why you're doing it. The people who got recognized tonight, thank you so much for helping us try out our new method, and hopefully that you feel that you are recognized, and we're very proud to be the ones recognizing you, and we are exceptionally proud of these teachers of the 9 weeks. We love all of our teachers, but thank you for bringing these forward from your campus, and thank you for spending your time here this evening with us. Board members, any other comments about Principal of the Month, Principal Month, or anything? Y'all are good? Thank y'all very much. And now we'll take a brief recess. It's 7:37, and we'll come back at 7:50. Thank y'all very much. ISD Board of Trustees is called back to order. The next item on the agenda is number 3, audience for guests. I have one audience for guests right now. Are there any more, Ms. Kessler? So we're good. Before we begin, I'll remind you that the board's procedures for handling audience for guests. Anyone interested to speak, you've already signed up, and you'll be allowed to speak once. I think you're probably good with that. And you'll be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to address the board. So Mr. Ramos will be our timekeeper tonight. And please, timer once she starts, and please, Ms. Grace Spies, please come tell us about yourself.
Good evening, President Klein, Dr. Chapman, and members of the board. I just came to introduce myself. My name is Grace Spies. I am the new executive director at the Farmers Branch Chamber of Commerce. I am looking forward to working alongside the school board with your educational endeavors. Currently, we are working on a new Red Ribbon event, which we are very excited about. That will be October 25th. So be on the lookout for information on that at Brookhaven College. And otherwise, I don't have a whole lot, but that's about it. Just wanted to introduce myself so you guys had a name and a face.
Your background.
My background prior to being at the chamber.
Or where'd you grow up?
I'm from Florida. My background is in sales, marketing, management. I work for Cutco Cutlery. Many people who've been through the school system know the Vector Cutco program. I worked for them for 10 years. So it gave me a really solid business foundation.
What brought you here? Just
a roll of the dice. I'm an adventurous type, and so I just figured, hey, I'll go spread my wings and fly and see what Dallas has to offer, and if not, I can always go back. So,
well, welcome.
thank you. One other thing that I just want to share real quickly is we do have a Farmers Branch Chamber Education Foundation. I'm not sure how many of you are privy to this, but we are working on resurrecting that scholarship fund. So be on the lookout. We're hoping to channel some more funds into our students' success. So thank you.
Item number 4, our next agenda item is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a mechanism that the board uses to approve a number of routine items together with a single vote. In compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the public notice for this meeting included the list of all consent agenda items, and the board has been provided ample information about these items in advance. Prior to any action taken on the consent agenda, board members may request withdrawal of individual items for clarification or discussion. Board members, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda at this time? Ms. Valenzuela?
I'd like to remove I, and yeah, I would like to remove H, actually.
I would like to ask a few questions about G, so I'll pull G for also. Anything else, y'all? So here we are. Waiting on a motion. Ms. Rabacek?
I'll make a motion that the board approves the consent agenda with the removal of item G and H, 4G and 4H.
And I.
And 4I.
Thank you.
Otherwise, approve as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Rabacek. Ms. Derrick? Second by Ms. Derrick. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Ms. Valenzuela, are you not voting? Okay, so all those in favor, please raise your hand. That is unanimous. That is 7 in favor. So our next item is item number 5, items for discussion and/or action. So, excuse me. So we have the 3 items removed from consent. Ms. Valenzuela, would you like to discuss 4I?
For I wanted to submit a person for the board's consideration for the appraisal board. And his name is Derek Miller. I'm sorry. Derek Avery.
Yeah, Derek Miller, our police chief.
Wrong Derek.
Do you have any?
Items to recommend him. He's been a parent in the area for a couple years now, and he's interested in the appraisal board.
So, board members, I think Dr. Chapman sent out one earlier in the week that was for the Denton County appraisal. So that would have been H, and that was the next item.
Yes.
So I'll not bring that one up right now. So right now, we have one nominee brought up by Ms. Valenzuela. Ms. Valenzuela, do you want to make a motion about that or anything?
Sure. So just to clarify, how would I amend it to include?
I believe the process you want to follow there is you're making a motion that the Carrollton-Farmers Branch ISD board recommends your candidate to be submitted as a nominee for the appraisal board.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend Derek Miller to be submitted as a nominee. Sorry.
Derek.
I'm sorry. Derek Avery, to be submitted as a nominee to the appraisal board.
Can I ask for an amendment to that? You ought to indicate if it's Dallas or Denton.
Oh, yes, for the Dallas Appraisal Board.
So we have a motion by Ms. Valenzuela for Derek Avery to be our nominee. And Dr. Chapman, so we make these nominations, they go away, they cultivate somewhere, and then they come back in a few months, correct?
Right, and then the board will be able to put their votes, the number of votes you get in December, on the ballot.
So we're just kind of throwing names
You're
in.
just,
Yeah.
the nomination.
And this is not a definitive
No.
appraisal district appointment.
No.
And it's just the nomination process. So Ms.
Correct.
Valenzuela has presented us with a name. So we have a motion by Ms. Valenzuela. Do we have a second? Mr. Ramos, thank you. And all those in favor, please vote with raising your right hand. So that is 7 in favor and 0 against. So thank you. That takes us to item number 4H.
So I would like to submit Ashley Miller. This is her actual name.
Not Avery.
Not Ashley Avery. Yes, I'd like to submit Ashley Miller, and this is why I kept going back on that. She is also just a parent in the northern part of the district, and she lives in the Dallas part of Denton.
So previously, through email, we received another nomination request. Is there a limit to the number of nominees we can make, Dr.
Yeah,
Chapman?
you need to make one. Isn't that correct? Ms. Tillman, do you know that answer?
Didn't actually allow the district to nominate up to 5.
Oh, up to 5.
So we can actually nominate both individuals. One is Kelly, S-A-Y-R-E. I don't know how you pronounce that, someone better with names. And he sent us like a bio that was a page long.
I sent that to the board.
So we have Kelly, S-A-Y-R-E, and then we have Ashley.
Miller, I promise.
So, so with the, and I had seen we could nominate, I thought, plenty. How would the board like to proceed? Do we have a motion from a board member?
I would like to make the motion that we recommend that we send for nomination to Denton County, Ashley Miller.
How about the other one? There was the Kelly, S-A-Y-R-E.
And Kelly Sayer.
So we have a motion to submit the 2 names that we received nominations to our board for, to Denton County for consideration on the appraisal board. So we have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second by Mr. Ramos. Is there any discussion? So all those in favor? That is 7 in favor, Ms. Castanon. So thank y'all. Item number 4G, I had a couple of questions. So can you just briefly describe the process for what agenda item G is discussing with this first stage and the second stage, and when the board will see it again?
Absolutely. As we know, there is no perfect delivery method, and each project needs to be evaluated for its merits to nominate its delivery method, and that's why we come and ask for the recommendation approval of the board. The design build allows us to go to a single source where a contractor will hire a design team to deliver a turnkey project for us. What that means is that once we got this delivery method, we'll go to the street to evaluate our contractors, where they'll bring a design team and a fee forward. We'll bring that back to the board for approval. So you will be involved in the selection of the approval of the contractor and the design fee. There they'll get to working on the design, the sequencing, the scheduling, the scope of the project. And that's one of the challenges here, is because we've got a lot of existing conditions. We don't know the scope 100%, and that's why we want a turnkey solution where somebody will really be responsible for delivering the best product to the district at the best price. At that point, we'll come back to the board for approval of the final budget before we start construction.
And can you also kind of go over how you're updating the board regularly throughout? Like you said, you've been here the last 2 months.
Yes,
Few presentations.
we have a lot of construction going on, and of course we'll keep the board updated through our construction updates. We're doing several things. We've got a social media presence now with bond updates and construction updates through the facilities department. We're also updating the facilities website. We're sending weekly and monthly reports to the superintendent's office, and we'll continue to make public presentations at the board meeting.
And how many proposers do you expect to go to your second stage? A minimum of?
This evaluation process, we're asking for a paper review and an interview before we bring a recommendation to the board, because I feel that both are important. You've got to do a review on paper and look good, and then we want to meet the team who's going to be responsible for bringing this product forward. Because as we know, whenever you're making something in real time, in life-changing conditions, it's the team that matters. In that process, we hope to interview at least 2 different companies before bringing forward a recommendation.
And the magnitude of the work you're looking at, how long do you think it may take to do this entirety of the work scope?
One of the nice things with design build is the guy that sits there and says, hey, we'll design this, it'll take so long, is also the guy responsible for building it. So you get much better pricing.
No speculation going on?
Yeah, or I know a guy who might be able to do it. No,
Yeah.
It's your neck on the line. And so we hope to be in construction in the early part of next year on the football projects. This will take advantage of the market since there's not a lot of other football construction, field construction going on, and then move into a summer construction for the baseball, softball fields.
Do you anticipate using a professional firm to assist the school district during this process?
Yes, one of the things with design build is to have third-party review as a good check. We always want to have another professional at the table telling us that, you know, our contractor's doing the right thing, even if they are doing they're responsible for the design. We don't want to get into a situation where it's too late to know that information. The contractor will be welcome to hire any professional engineers they would like, but we would look for a third party to review their designs.
And the reason why I'm asking these questions is in city work, design build is reserved for things like pump stations. And so roads and flat things like trails and creeks don't qualify for design build. So I've been cross-examining Malcolm, even though I find nothing but good answers and authority and knowledge. So I just am trying to make myself comfortable with understanding the procurement and how this all works. I am confident in what the staff is bringing forward, and I would make a motion to approve item 4G. And we look forward to the updates. It won't be easy staggering the construction and selecting with the high schools which one goes first. So that's why I'm glad you're there, I'm here, and I am only here to criticize. So, critique, let me correct my words.
No, I think it's criticized.
But I also, what I told Malcolm earlier is I really want to protect him and the school district, and I want to make sure that we're comprehensively, you know, it may rain for another 3 months, but I don't know, has anybody seen any rain recently? I'm about ready to turn into a brown, crusty piece of grass and blow away. So, so with that, I don't know, can I make a motion, Dr. Chapman? So I would make a motion. Okay. Would you like to second the motion? Okay, so we have a motion and a second by Mr. Shackman. Any discussion? Thank you. All those in favor, please raise your hand. So that is 7 in favor and 0 opposed. Thank you, Malcolm. So this brings us to item 5B, consider RFP 2019-05009 for web redesign and web hosting services. Mr. Monroe, welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you, President Klein, Dr. Chapman, members of the board. I'm excited to talk to you about a new project that we're undertaking. The current district website has some challenges, and we've been looking for moving into a new platform and excited about getting a new site launched. Sorry, this isn't
If you have technological problems, I'm
I'm
going
having
to chuckle.
technological problems.
I'm going to chuckle.
Not sure what we're seeing there. There we go. The current site is it's very manually intensive. It's a WordPress site, and so all of the content has to come centrally to be updated on the campus sites, on the central site, through the district webmaster. It's locally hosted, so it's here. So if we do need to put some emergency things out because we've had weather issues and things here in the district, it's likely if we have any network issues, our site will be down because of connectivity to the district. Also, we've had some ADA compliance challenges in the past because there's not really any automatic tools to prevent violating some of those principles that you do with ADA, and it's kind of an aging design. And so we put out an RFP, looked at a lot of different solutions, brought the top 2 solutions we felt in, which was Final Site and West Communications, that rose to the top, looking across all of the categories of how it was a fit for what we were looking to do. And product I'm excited to talk about is Final Site, which rose to the top, as Dr. Chep and myself. Ms. Parnell looked at it. They stood out. They were very modern, visually engaging designs, very responsive, ability to navigate quickly, so you weren't waiting on things to come up. A lot of good contextual menus. Also a very consistent flow when we looked at their sites across from individual private schools all the way up through large K-12 districts and universities, that there was a consistent quality to their sites. They didn't just have 1 or 2 standouts, but their whole portfolio fell into that category. Also, the ability to have district campus organization sites all the way down to individual classroom teacher sites with a consistent look and feel, consistent navigation, allowing parents to sort of easily find what they were looking for. Automatically populate teacher rostering within the campus site, so as we move things move around, they automatically are on the right campus. And so parents aren't having to look out on Google or WordPress or other things for a teacher's classroom site. I think that'll make things a lot easier, especially for secondary parents that have multiple teachers to keep track of, to find. It was very easy for non-technical staff to update. So when we looked at the ability of can all of these staff members across the district update their own content, we needed something that was as easy as creating a Google document or working in Microsoft Word or something to do, and it was. However, if you do run into challenges, a lot of times for teachers that could be at night, or for a coach that's trying to update things on a team site on the weekend. They had 24/7, 365 support where anybody in our organization could call and get help with something if they weren't able to figure out how they were posting that, as opposed to waiting till Monday or the next day and reaching out to the IT help desk for that. And so that was something we saw a lot of value in. An integrated iOS and Android apps that we could put up on the stores that were built-in integration to the site, so information could be posted once and flow over to a mobile platform, since we know a lot of people consume content through their cell phones these days. Those savings that we can do over the existing district app that is published through Blackboard will actually cover most of the costs of this entire web platform, and so that's a great win that was integrated in. We've had a lot of campus requests lately for electronic newsletter platforms. There's some things like S'more and Peach Jar and things that are platforms that let you publish electronic newsletters. That was an optional add-on that we could do to the platform. We were able to negotiate with them to include that for free for up to 25,000 newsletters a month, and so we allow campuses to be able to use that platform to publish electronic newsletters. Last couple of things. In that important ADA compliance, there was really robust tools in it where it literally, one, allow you to select fonts that aren't ADA compliant, one, allow you to publish a site if the pictures don't have alt text tab, information in them and things, so it automatically pops up and says, you're trying to publish this page, but here's what's out of compliance about that. They also have some human resources that continually monitor their client sites for that. That's really important because that allows us to then distribute that content creation out without worrying about getting ourselves into trouble over those things. And lastly, the multi-tier publishing rights. Once again, it allows, say, if a campus wanted to volunteer, like a parent, to start building some content on a site, we can set that up where one person has access to build content, but they can't publish it. So a principal or someone on the campus would have to be able to look and review that and allow it to be published before it was visible to the public. And really all of these things, what it helps us do is to create a lot more current content and get it updated more quickly and published to parents and stay on top of things better. So we're really excited about that. And with that, I'll just ask if there's any questions.
Board members, are there any questions? Mr. Bocek?
I'm sorry if I missed this. Did you talk about the timeline?
I did not talk about the timeline yet. That's something that Ms. Parnell and myself have been talking about, and Dr. Chapman, when is the right time to migrate over to a new platform? So they'll be working with us on a design process, and certainly with some of the new creation of we've been working on with the CV 2030, incorporating into, do we have new logos? Do we have things that we want to sort of build the site around from a theme perspective? And so once there's a design process in place, and we started to sign off on what the district core site template looks like, as well as the campuses. And then there's going to be a process of migrating content from the existing site over to those sites. And so it's going to be, we anticipate, somewhere in the neighborhood of a 6-month process, 6 to 8 month process to get it ready to publish and push the button. So we've talked about, is that good for a mid-year launch, or should, say in the spring during the school year, or should we wait till summer and bring it online as with the new school year? That's not a decision we've made yet.
I think Dr. Chapman mentioned it's like a 2-click thing, or what's the terminology there?
Well, yeah. So one of our goals is to be able to find the information in 2 clicks. Now, that's we're not going to be able to do that for all, but we're gonna do our best for that information that we want parents to find as soon as possible. I know many of us are like that. If you can't find it after 2 or 3 clicks, then you're moving on to something else. And so that's a goal that we have, to have the most important information right there at your fingertips.
Right, and so some of that will be in the technical design of how large the menus and things you can pop up, but a lot of it is in that content design perspective as we go through and we look at, what is a logical organization of content? How do we group things into major categories so people know where to look for something? And so that's one reason the design process will take a while, because we'll want to vet out, are things easy to find? Can you find it with a couple of clicks in terms of how we logically group things? Because there's a lot of items that could go in a lot of different places, within a district. So,
Ms. Valenzuela, did you have a question?
Just a comment. I really appreciate that you're making it fairly user-friendly on both ends. A lot of parents, before even moving here, look at the website, and I think it's one of the ways that people interface with our schools without ever setting foot in the city even. So I really appreciate all of the careful work you're doing, so that we only need a click or two in order to get to the thing that we need to get to, because there are things that seem to be intuitive in a lot of other sites that weren't necessarily where we were. And when we're talking about unfortunately Gen X parents and millennial parents, they don't walk to a building first. They don't pick up a phone first unless they're picking up their phone to look at their browser. It's just the reality of where we are. So this is going to pay dividends, I think, for our schools and for the area. And I appreciate it.
So I have a perhaps ignorant question, but so we check our email through the portal. That's a whole different site, and that's not changing, right?
Correct. The way that you get to that site, the link or things on the main site may look different, but once you get to that point, you're moving more over to our intranet side where we host email and things, and once you get there, it'll be the same.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see the outcome, and I know it's a large hurdle to climb, and but I am sure. I had a job where they were using 20-year-old software, and they were too scared to change it, and they still haven't changed a lot of it. It's still in like Fortran. So but that would be worse than this, a lot more, because it was all data and financial stuff. But I admire coming here and doing that, one of your first tasks. I appreciate it, along with everything else that you're doing for our IT department.
There's a list.
Board members, motion. Mr. Matthews.
Make a motion that we approve the purchase for the web redesign and web hosting services with the recommended vendor as presented.
So we have a motion by Mr. Matthews. We have a second by Mr. Bocek. Is there any further questions or discussion? All those in favor? That is 7 in favor and 0 opposed. So with that, board members, it appears that we are near the end of our agenda. We are at item number 6, comments from board members. Anybody have any comments they want to make at this time? Ms. Hrabacek?
I had posted on social media, but recently I had the opportunity to catch a documentary on after the news one Saturday night called "Love Them First: Lessons from Lucy Laney Elementary." And I saw an update that they're releasing it streaming tonight.
Yes.
And so I would urge all the board members and the audience, if you didn't catch it, watch it and get your Kleenex.
Yeah.
But it really highlights the big picture. I know our teachers and our principals see it every day about supporting and loving and educating the whole child, but this kind of brings it alive, a picture for maybe those that aren't closely related or inside our classrooms. So I highly recommend that you won't be disappointed. Love them first.
I happened to see that also, and that was so moving. And then I commented on your post, and then like nobody else did, and I'm like, nobody else cares. So I appreciate you
I
bringing
think
that
nobody
up.
else saw it. It was at 11 o'clock one night
Or
after college
midnight
football game.
yeah, so. But it was an amazing program that really captured what, I hope that we can share through our social media also, but a very compelling story of the needs of kids that may not have everything they need to learn when they come to school. So that brings us to item number 7, adjournment. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our agenda, and we are adjourned at 8:21 p.m.